car today, and it's like 8 o'clock in the morning.
True story.
We were gonna have a garage sale today,
Well,
but
yeah.
It
It got a little rained out, so
just for a little bit, but it's still 8 o'clock in the morning, so it's not too bad.
it's been a long morning, but we're not here to talk to you about our garage sale.
Anyway, we're here to talk to you
Or are
about. I don't know. We're here to talk to him about anything we want to talk to him about.
Shut up and listen, people. No, I'm kidding.
He said that, not me. I have my very stylish smiley face on today because it's morning and I haven't had enough caffeine to smile yet.
There you go. See y'all, but oh,
I lost it. Oh well. We were sitting around trying to think of stuff to talk about, and we realized that we could actually just talk about video games
because we like video games.
because we love video games.
We
But
play video games all the
oh
time.
my gosh, all the
We've
time.
played video games since we were little tykes.
Like when we were 8, we got our first Sega Genesis, and
Sega Genesis. Oh yeah.
we played Sonic on that so many times. But we were thinking of talking about Tomb Raider because they just came out with a new game for it. It was great because it was like a survivalist game. And it was Laura before she was confident Laura, and it was really interesting to see that. Anyway, we were talking about the difference between the new game and the good graphics and all this, and the old games and the old cheesier graphics and stuff. What do you think? What did you think about the old Tomb Raiders?
Well, the old Tomb Raider. Let's see. Not the first one we played, but the earliest one we played was Tomb Raider 2.
Yeah.
So we played that
On our computer.
for a long time.
It took us
several
3 years to beat it. We got stuck on a part because we didn't know what a sewer grate looked like.
Oh man. Oh gosh. You know, that's the funny thing about those games is they didn't tell you how to play.
In fact, just the opposite. They made sure they didn't tell you, and it was confusing. And you had to find out for yourself.
Simple but confusing is what I'm going for.
Yeah, definitely confusing. But they weren't too complicated, I guess.
But I think the greatest thing about Tomb Raider was just the joy of having to actually discover things for yourself and not have everything handed to you on a platter. Like Tomb Raider Anniversary and the couple games that came before that, everything that you could interact with was literally glowing.
Yeah, you
And
could
so-
see it, it was there, and it was like, oh, that's what I have to
It
do.
took me 1 day to beat that game.
Yeah,
one
yeah,
day.
less than a day. It was like, what,
Yeah.
5-6 hours? The new one I was watching has like a crap load of exploration stuff. Like, there's the main story that they have this like hurry up feel to it, so you can like go as fast as you can through it. But if you slow down and just collect all the stuff, I mean, you could stand there for hours just collecting crap.
You know, one of my pet peeves in games is like, you'll be taking some time off the main mission in like any game. Like this even happened in Halo one time, and you'll find like a secret corridor and you'll walk down and it'll be like a really long ways, and then you get to the end and there's nothing there.
Yeah, it's just an empty hallway.
It's huge letdown.
They accidentally didn't close off the building or put a graphical barrier there.
Yeah, so
there's
you
just
walk
this-
a long part and then there's nothing there.
But yeah.
So if I made a game, there would be like tons of like side missions and exploration adventures and just all kinds of crazy stuff on the sides to do.
Yeah.
Because I'm ADD and
That
I don't
would be
pay attention
a
very long.
crap load
So
of fun. Yeah, that's like, ooh, shiny. Oh crap, that's nothing. The old Tomb Raider used to be like this. You have to find out what you could climb on and what you couldn't. And sometimes there would be things that were drawn on that appeared you could climb on it, but there was no climbing. You could jump up and you try to grab like this flat wall with something drawn on that looked like you could climb on it. That was probably the most annoying part about the old graphics. But it does make it a lot easier with the new stuff because you know what you can get on, you know what you can't. Although it is challenging is the fact that bad guys like randomly pop up somewhere. Like you'll be walking through, and they use tripwire systems in a lot of these new games, and where you walk past a point and then there are bad guys like wolves and bears and other things like that. So, big stuff. They use wild animals in the new one too. So that's kind of cool. But there were wild animals in the other ones as well. I mean, you'd have to fight stuff.
well, yeah, tigers and lions and bears
Yeah.
and Tyrannosaurus Rexes. Yeah. all
Yeah,
kinds of
just
stuff.
I never got that part either. The T-Rex. Personally speaking, I was like, what?
In Tomb Raider 2, the big boss at the end was a dragon.
True, but I liked that. But with the old system, he knew where you were.
Yeah.
Okay, he didn't. It wasn't like it's like he had the glowing vision and he could see you moving around. Because you'd pop
Oh,
up
yeah.
for a second and then you'd have to go back down.
That was always frustrating because all the bad guys all automatically know where you are.
There was no secrecy in like, huh? Hey, maybe he's over here. They weren't as stupid back then. All of a sudden, they got really dumb. I digress. Anywho,
You know, the graphics on Tomb Raider 2, though, I mean, everything was square. Even Laura was square, which is
Yeah.
weird for a person. Like, all the characters were squares.
yeah, they weren't really round.
the
It was
poly-
like an assumption of them being round.
Right, the polygon count was, like, really horrible.
But yeah, there was one part that this guy got stuck
Oh,
on
man.
that I had to bail him out of. We were playing, and there's a part where you're in Venice, and you got all these boats and stuff. And there's this little thing you can swim under the door, and there's a boat back there, but
Boat
he
dock.
had like that last little bit of health before
No
you,
health packs.
like you get shot once and you're dead kind of health.
Actually, there was no health in the health bar.
Yeah.
It was
that
just the
dead.
health bar
That
itself
dead.
was blinking.
And he saved it.
And I saved it instead of
And there
loading
was a
it.
guy on the other side of the door and a dog. And the only thing between us and them was a body of water. So I had to get in there, and I think it took 6 or 7 tries to get out.
Took a while.
Just to get up over there, stand up, and shoot the guy. And then the dog was always the second problem. You'd shoot the dude because he had the gun, and then you would try to go for the dog, and if he got you, then you were dead. I mean, it was just one bite, and you were done. I mean, it was like the weakest
Yeah,
person
you know
on earth.
what?
You bite your knee and you fall over
That's
dead.
the funniest thing about the old games too. Like, it doesn't matter where you get injured.
Yeah, it was always as painful as anything else.
Everything is the same. Like, you get shot and they're like, oh, I'm dead. You know, my foot's gone.
Well, it was more fun too because the bad guys were the same way. You'd
That's
shoot
true.
them and their like arm would be sticking out of the cover, and you just go bam, hit them in the elbow, and they would die.
Yeah.
But yeah, it reminds me of some of the old Medal of Honor games too. With that, now that I'm thinking about it, that was the first place that I did sniping, like serious sniping. Frontline was probably one of the best for that because you would. Once they made the zoom feature in the sniper rifle, I was hooked to that.
Yeah, well, once you found out about it,
Yeah.
you'd just be like,
At
sitting
first,
there at
it was like
0% zoom just with the scope.
It's
You
like
didn't
it's
know-
like this is stupid. It just goes from normal screen to scope screen. But yeah, we didn't figure out you could zoom in until
push
a
the
while
button
later.
and zoom in.
In fact, I got really good at sniping just with that. It was like, yep. It was like, oh my gosh, I can get closer to them. After that, they
It
were
was
all
like
dead.
huge discovery. Like,
Yeah, like, oh my gosh, you can do
Yeah.
this. Holy crap.
oh man,
It's
you
exciting.
memorized that game.
I had every
You
bad guy's position
You
down.
played that game so much.
I
Like,
could
you
literally, I could
you
go
could
through
do-
every level in a day and kill everybody.
We
in it.
actually, one time, it was late at night and we couldn't sleep, so we were talking about it, and you described every part of the level.
I still have that too.
All the
I still have the
levels.
tape from that. And Jay was
Wait,
like,
were we recording that?
yeah,
on
we
cassette-
recorded that
on
We-
cassette tape.
We were
Wow.
so disagreeing at one point that we were like, you know what? We'll record it and see which one's right. He recorded his and I recorded mine, and mine was like dead on. He missed like 2 or 3 points with guys that I was disagreeing with him, and I was just like, no.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, on the new games, it's all a lot more random. They move a little more freely, but they still have these prescribed locations. You go here, you go here, you go here.
Right. So what do you think? Were the old games more fun than the new games?
You know, to be honest with you, a lot of people are still like Pac-Man and Galaga. Okay.
That's true.
And there's a lot of ways to be nostalgic about stuff, but honestly, in the video gaming world, progression is better. Anything that's moving forward is better. Anything that's moving backwards is a waste of your time.
Well,
That's how most people will see it. Okay. Personally speaking, I think that I like a lot of the new games really well, and they're a lot of fun. But at sometimes I'm thinking, you know, I'm playing it on the hardest difficulty, and it still isn't as hard as the old games.
that's true.
So, there's a lot of give and take as to which way. Personally, I think it depends on what game you're talking about as to whether I like the old or the new. I can't pick whether, you know, I like
true.
all old games or all new games. But I still like playing Pac-Man. I like playing Tetris. I don't know why. It's the dumbest game I've ever
I
played.
think that's the thing. People are always like, old games are better, no new games are better. Well, why can't they both be awesome?
Exactly.
You know, why can't they be awesome together? Just because one was made before the other
Like, okay, like,
doesn't mean that it should be.
like yeah, like,
promoted.
all right, Zombieland. Okay, there's these other games that are like old zombie games, and then there's
Like,
Call of Duty new game.
Wolfenstein and
Yeah, like
Doom.
Yeah, exactly. Wolfenstein and Doom. Anyway, there's a new game. There are new games called Prototype. Anyway, Prototype is one of those games I really enjoy because you feel like this super awesome individual. It's like I can jump over buildings. Yes. I like Prototype. I like Prototype because it makes if you get into the game well enough, it makes you feel like this superhuman individual. It's fun, and it's a lot of fun jumping around. That's for sure.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks everybody.
Subscribe, rate, all that good stuff.
We're gonna
Comment
make
if
this
you
into
like
2
it.
videos.
Share it. Do all that good stuff.
Thanks.
See you next time.